Okay, so I'm a stupid dog, and this is a solely producer-driven take. And the premise of this take is so absurd, even to, idiotic, stupid dog. It's so absurd that I'm not even going to try to pre-read it. This is so cold. This is such a cold take that you're going to experience firsthand what do you call it when somebody can't even read, where they can't really spell? I forget what you call that. It's something like you're illiterate. You're going to experience full-on dog illiteracy because I'm not even trying on this take. The premise of this take is so ridiculous. I can't even call it redonkulous. Okay, so the title of this take is going to be the juxtaposition of the two doppelgangers, Hulk Hogan's son Nick and Tom Hanks's boy Chet. Now, these two boys, they look a lot alike, and they, whatever you say, they behave a lot alike. They're almost like identical behaviorists. So they look quite similar, and they act quite similar. Basically, you have two near-do-well doofuses who come from rich families with superstar dads who can't seem to, they can't get a sniff of success. They're both a couple of lost souls, all right? But what the producer finds the real point and what the producer wants me to hit on is that though these two boys are, very similar in appearance, very similar in their failed existences, they can't really parlay any of their dad's success into their own personal success. It's crazy because even though they're both almost equal losers, in one case, one of the dads loves their son and supportive as their son and is always there for the son. And in the other case, the dad really, almost what you would say, despises his son, hates his son. He's ashamed of his son. Okay? So this take starts off, the producers feed me these videos and these bullet points. And this take will take off from the standpoint or at the jump off point where Nick almost runs over a cop. This cop's on the side of the road doing his job. I don't know if it was one of those traffic stops looking for, what do you say, drunk drivers? So the cop pulls Nick over, and immediately he gets him out of his truck. The cop is a pretty snide cop. He says, you got a pretty rich boy's vehicle here, a pretty rich boy's truck. And Hulk Hogan's boy's like, yeah, I appreciate that, officer. Yeah, it's really a beautiful truck. The cop's, he's standing there in this drizzly rain looking at Hulk Hogan's boy, and he says, Hulk Hogan's boy, your breath smells of alcohol. And poor old Hulk Hogan's boy ain't that smart. He says, oh, I was kissing my girlfriend. First off, he's throwing his girlfriend under the bus. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, I was kissing my girlfriend. She was guzzling alcohol. So my breath is whatever you say. I can't remember, but it's not me. It's whatever when it's not really you that smells like alcohol, but you picked up the scent of alcohol from somebody else. I'm borrowing the scent of alcohol from my wife's or my girlfriend's tongue and the inside of her mouth. And the cop looks at Hulk Hogan's boy and says, son, is that what you're going with? Let me just say this much, son. You might as well just get your lawyer on speed dial right now because this ain't going to come out too well for you. If that's the first thing you're coming out with, this ain't going to work out too well for you. But the whole time, Nick is very, very polite. And I got to say that cop is a little bit condescending. A couple things that just show you that Nick ain't the brightest bulb in the bureau drawer, The cop says to him, is there any reason, have you cracked your head, have you smacked your head and vomited lately? And Nick takes like 20 seconds to answer that one, and then he finally comes out with, not recently. So obviously Nick is having a lot of head injuries to the point where he feels he's got to vomit. He gets such bad concussions, they lead to him vomiting, but thank goodness it hasn't happened in the last 2 or 3 days, as long as Nick can recall, whatever. The other thing that's kind of telling is that the cop asked Nick, what's your highest level of education? And even though this kid grew up a wealthy millionaire son, he says GED. I went as far as the GED. Oh, and the cop's like, pretty good. The funny thing is, you learn a little bit about Hulk when he shows up. He shows up hobbling on a support stick in the video. He's got a walking stick that's a cross between a crutch and a cane. I guess the years of wrestling have taken their toll on Hulk, but Hulk is right there for his boy. He's supportive of his boy. He doesn't get too riled up. Another interesting thing is I don't know if I skipped ahead in the video a little bit, and there was a woman taking a breathalyzer, and she was claiming that since she has ex-porn star actress blowjob lung, where her lungs are weak from doing so many blowjobs in pornos, that she can't really blow into the breathalyzer that good. And she says, "Forgive me, excuse me, I'm an ex-porno actress. I got blowjob lung. I can't really blow that long, okay?" And the cop is like, "Eek, I'm hearing all the new kinds of things today." Okay, according to the producer, you know, the whole point of this thing is that Hulk just loves Nick. Now, we go over to the point of Tom hates Chet. And according to the producer, Tom Hanks hated his son and despised his son so horribly that he sent Chet off to military school. He couldn't stand to be around his progeny. And I'm going to say this much. If you watch Chet, which the most famous thing Chet is about Chet, the most famous thing he's famous for is his trying to develop a career talking in Jamaican pig Latin, or I guess you would call it pig Jamaican. It's like you ever hear people talking pig Latin? This is pig Jamaican. And this boy, he's convinced he can become a superstar celebrity in the pig Jamaican venue or milieu or whatever you call it. His genre, his school of endeavor is going to be developing a career talking in pig Jamaican. And right away, this boy, he's not gonna be that successful, but whatever. The reason Hulk loves his son so much is that they've got identical sounding voices and identical male pattern baldness genes. I think that's what drew those two together. The reason that Tom hates his son so much is because the apple fell so far from the tree. Chet is so untalented. Tom won 2 back-to-back Oscars, and Chet can't parlay any of his name recognition or his privilege into anything productive. Chet is a lost cause, okay? The highest Chet ever achieved was he sang a really horrible rap song called White Boy Summer. This is what Chet achieved. Besides his, and I think he even sang maybe in Pig Jamaican, but White Boy Summer, Black Girl Magic, this is as high as Chet's attained. So obviously, Tom is going to be God almighty. I won 2 Oscars in a row. The best part of me must have run down my leg when I fathered this boy, because this boy, I don't know about this boy. Just Tom is really disappointed. I think Hulk's probably disappointed, but Hulk is motherly and lovingly, and because he's so crippled, it even looks like more. Tom goes and lives in parts of the world you can't even find on a globe. He's trying to get so far away from reality and his son and everything that, Tom is just like really, whatever you say, he's trying to turn his son into a bastard after the fact. That's what Tom's trying to do. But now I'm going to close with this, because this is something I discovered on my own. The producer doesn't even know about this. The coolest thing about this whole interlude is that Tom and Chet and Hulk and Nick are in preliminary discussions to develop a show for Netflix called Father Swap. So what they're going to do is Tom is going to take Chet for a while, and Hulk is going to take Nick for a while, and they're going to see what becomes of that. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see if maybe Hulk could nurture Nick into something better, and maybe, Tom's more rigid or whatever could help straighten Chet out. It's going to be really a dynamic thing, and I am an idiotic, stupid dog, but I am waiting with bated breath for that one. I got to tell you.